there's three key pillars when we think about, prompting in customer success and customer experience. The first one is around productivity, and most CS and CX leaders are here, right? It's really around, a summarization of calls and, I'm preparing for meetings and things like that. But what I liked about one specific prompt here was, again, because we're all doing it, if you have a transcript, be very specific around what you want it to give it back to you. So ask for key decisions made, action items and owners, risks or concerns, next steps, timeline, and more important than anything, also the format and the style, concise and professional for key stakeholders, etc. Right. Another one that was really interesting was for new team members, right? Sometimes QBR can be a bit daunting, and they have the slides, but then they don't know how to deliver them. So you can put the PowerPoint out there and ask the LLM that you use to give you a script, so they can feel a bit more prepared on how to go through the conversation with the customer. The second pillar was around customer experience improvements. And one that I really liked was based on this customer profile data, and you give it a data dump, obviously in a secure environment, provide me with key business goals and how they align to our business, potential expansion opportunities, risk factors, and personalized engagement suggestions for the next quarter, and how do I word them. Then last but not least, and this was the weaker area, but this is why I'm going to give you more examples, is because I really want to make sure that people attending this really feel empowered and motivated to go and try some of these different strategies. One was around negotiation. So a general purpose AI tool that generates additional ideas and arguments during price negotiations. So just, having this conversation with his customer, and really kind of like helping you prepare on scenarios. Another one was a Claude dashboard created to provide customers with business outcomes, so they can see, which workflows work best for them. Mm-hmm. Another one that I really loved was around doing regular competitive SWOT analysis. We're sometimes so inward looking at our own renewals, our own expansion, and there's so much information out there that we're not really leveraging. So that was a good one. Another one was for preps for board meetings and providing, an executive summary of, what are the health score trends, what's the revenue impact, what are the risks and opportunities, and what are the recommended actions. And obviously you'll have to correct a lot of that and, revise it, but it's a good next, starting point. One that I really like.
Yeah. Internally or externally? So when are you preparing that for a customer, right?
That's for a board. No, that's internal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's internal. Okay.
Yeah, but good point. That could be same use case, external, right? So and that's again, right? This is how, we're just scratching the surface here. Another one that I really liked, and I'll just share two more, and then we'll move on to the next step in the interest of time, is providing, the LinkedIn profile of a persona, and then asking them, tell me about the unmet needs of this persona for our business, right? And then kind of like white space stakeholder management. So you provide all of the contacts that you're speaking to, and you say, where should I expand my relationship and how should I communicate to them? So
for influencers for this account.
Exactly. Multi-threading, right? So sometimes we constantly going to the same Salesforce and trying to speak to the same people that are ignoring us. And this is kind of like really helping us reach out to other stakeholders that we may have not, maybe they just joined the business.
Yeah. Well, if I summarize that, it's curiosity, right? Like try different prompts. I recently did a deep research. So if you click on Perplexity or Claude or ChatGPT and change it to deep research, you can get amazing amount of data on any company that you're working with, and including stakeholders and whatever prompts you're adding in there, and take about 5 minutes and save you about 2 hours.